Okay, everyone, let's get started. Welcome. Welcome to our Sustainable Development Goal Demo Day for UK and Israel. I'm Stefan. I'm working for Google's SDG program, organizing things like workshops, community activities, and also demo days. Demo days is kind of a format I like to organize a lot because we bring two parties together that hopefully will have fruitful conversations. And why UK and Israel? There's the two biggest tech nations in Europe, from my point of view, don't have to deal with all the EU complexity, whatever, so they can just quickly move. And I'm happy to present to you as an investor the best startups in our program that represents these two countries trying to make the world a better place by working on the different UN SDG pillars. So just before we start, for everyone to be on the same page, the startups have like 3 minutes to do a pitch, and afterwards you'll have like 2 minutes or so time for 1, 2, maybe 3 questions. And if you're not talking, please be on mute. I encourage everyone to ask questions. If you have some questions to the pitch, don't be shy to speak up. Bear with us if you have technical issues. We are doing this as a real event. Nothing is pre-recorded, so every startup has to bring up their slides on their own, and there might be some hiccups that are happening, but then it's at least a real event, and I definitely like that a lot. If you have more questions to what we're doing here, feel free to contact me afterwards. And for the investors here in the room, we will share with you all the contact details from the startups today after the event, so you don't need to write down everything. But before we get started, just very briefly in a couple of minutes, for the investors who haven't joined the demo day before, I'd like to give an overview of what the Google SDG program actually entails. So our program is supporting startups that work in the 2030 goals from the UN, with the 17 pillars that try to address all the, or at least most of the problems we have and see in this world. So all the participants here basically try on like a business model for profit, make sure we can address some of those challenges. The program itself are more than 300 startups globally from more than 60 different countries, with more than thousands mentoring hours, I would say, helping to accelerate the growth from those startups. And we try to help from multiple different angles, and hopefully the startups can grow faster with some of our support. It's a completely free program. Google doesn't take any equity money or whatsoever for this, and it's really just trying to make sure to see where we can help you. Startups who are part of the program goes through some form of due diligence. They need to have obviously an SDG focus as talked about, but we also would like to have a tech aspect as part of their business. So we don't want to have just a marketplace or so joining the program. We want to see some technology here because that's Google as a tech company, obviously then interesting for us to see how we can potentially create win-win situations. Founders have to be full-time committed to this, not a side gig, so really make sure they want to grow something. From the Google side, we try to help with mentorship, giving the startups access to all kind of people in the Google network, from HR recruiter up to engineers who work on a certain specific area, and hope that in these conversations we can help and unlock some of the potential. On top of that, things like workshops, tech talks, we try to do multiple additional activities. So we have a lot of partners that are part of our program. So there's multiple organizations we work with already today. As an investor, if you want to be close to what we're doing here, feel free to reach out. We are always open for closer collaboration and see how we if your VC help, for example, your portfolio, if they're startups working on SDG, could potentially leverage our program, or we can do together with you maybe some workshops. Would love to do so, so don't be shy to reach out. So a couple of interesting opportunities here. Who's in the room today? We have a good mix of multiple investors from Europe, but also from around the world. So it's like a good mix of different players. And from the startup side, we have 12 startups today presenting. It's really like half UK, half Israel, and across the different like SDG areas. That's the running order. We kick off with SAB Energy. Goes through that in one go, like that, 3 minutes for each pitch, then a couple of minutes for questions. And without further like talking from my end, I'd like to straight go into the pitches and would like to say welcome to Sandra. I'll stop sharing and let the more interesting content come up from Sandra to hear about them, what they're doing.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to hopefully share my slides and
it's coming up.
into presentation mode.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Sandra Sasso, and I am the co-founder and CEO of SAB Energy. And we are based in the UK, although we have a US subsidiary as well. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about food waste. It's responsible for 8% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions approximately, and 40% of that food waste is still being landfilled or incinerated. Only 25% is going to some kind of energy recovery. So we're really throwing away a valuable resource, and we're doing that during a global energy and fertilizer supply crisis. And we're creating huge emissions in the process. So, well, what now? Well, that's what Portugal's largest supermarket chain asked us when they came to us with their food waste still being sent to landfill. So we sold them a FlexiBuster unit. It's our decentralized solution for recycling organic waste. We use anaerobic digestion. So now you don't have any collection vehicles coming to the site. There is no odor problem. They're generating their own renewable energy, and they're recapturing the water and the fertilizer for sale. So with FlexiBuster, the supermarket turned their waste into a value for the business. So FlexiBuster in our cities, FlexiBuster can recapture the energy, the water, the nutrients from waste, provide a reliable on-site source for self-sufficient buildings in our city centers. It will reduce air and water pollution by eliminating the need for waste transport vehicles, and it can support rooftop farming, which is a growing trend. So who are our clients? Well, our clients include waste management companies, governments, corporates, all over the world. The systems are certified for installation inside or next to buildings with and with fewer commuters. What we're seeing is FlexiBuster can go into those empty parking spaces and make them profitable. And developers are looking at older buildings and making them sustainable, incorporating our technology so that their portfolio value stays the same. And because our systems are portable, companies with leased premises can move with them. So business model, we've kept our working capital needs low by outsourcing production and using a combination of direct and indirect sales. And with our current revenue stream, we're projecting to grow our recurring revenue from 10 to 50% in the next 3 years as we move from a product model to a service model for the business. So where are we? Well, we've just closed our second investment round, and we've just closed our fiscal year in June, having more than doubled our revenues. We've sold and deployed units in 6 countries. We've won a €2 million grant and raised 20 million in project finance. We're due to release our 6th version of the product, which is doubling the outputs using the same footprint. So our products have the potential to reduce global methane emissions by 14.5%, and we're looking to help the planet stay greener. So we hope you'll join us. We're ready to scale. Do get in touch if you'd like to invest or deploy our technologies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Any questions from the audience for Sandra? Don't be shy to speak up. Dan.
Hi there. So if you were going to install this for an office block that has a cafe, canteen type production of food waste, typically what scale would the office block need to be for it to work?
Typically, we're looking at the minimum amount of waste that we can process is around 250 kilograms a day. So it would typically be a 10-story building, something like that. We've done it in central Manhattan for a 20-story building, but we could go, that's a bigger unit, so about half that size.
So in terms of the numbers of people that would be dining per day, have you got a ballpark on that?
About 1,000. About 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, if
That's
it's
helpful.
cafeteria and lunches only. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any other question for Sandra? Okay. Thank you very much, Sandra. Really exciting to see what you're doing. That sounds amazing. And I'm curious to see how your journey will be over the next couple of years. Moving on to Israel, and I'd like to welcome Ofer. He's directly bringing up the slides, talking about his business, Solite.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ofer Becker, Solite co-founder and CTO. Very happy to be here. Solite was born 10 years ago, making our first steps with great help from the Israeli Innovation Authority. Then on 2016, we had won the Horizon 2020, both phase 1 and phase 2. And last year, we raised a further $1 million from our partners at SIBF. So by now you're wondering what we're doing with all this money. Don't worry, I'll tell you. We live and work all of our life in buildings. In buildings, and this separates us from natural sunlight, which is necessary to sync our circadian rhythms. Furthermore, of course, using electricity to light up buildings in daytime is a great waste of energy, and these are the two problems that we set out to solve in Solite. What did we do? We came up with a patented, innovative, highly efficient, and fully static solar collector, typically placed on a sunny rooftop or a southern facade, collecting the sunlight and transporting it without any transformation, using a reflective light guide into the areas of the building that need this sunlight. Typically, you can think of inner windowless rooms, a basement, or even a northern wing would all be ideal installations. Basically, it's a real-time system, very similar to a periscope of a submarine, if you want to envision what we do. As a Solite customer, your main drive to install the system is actually price performance. We deliver much more light by almost a factor of 3 per each euro invested in the system compared to the prevailing technologies. And furthermore, we have the additional availability of tailoring the heat intake so that our systems can be heating in wintertime, non-heating in summer, which is another energy boost you can add to your system. So the energy savings are there, quite significant, delivering a very nice ROI, typically of 3 to 4 years. But we believe that the health benefits, which I mentioned before, are the real reasons, which are more significant by almost a factor of 50 over just the energy savings. Then, of course, there's always the ability to say that if you spend too much money shopping, you can say the sunlight made me do it, which is nice. Just remember it next time this happens to you. Here you can see a clip from our first large-scale commercial installation in the Israeli desert in the Kedma Hotel. You can see the painting with light, and as I mentioned before, we tailored the heat. So here in the desert, the systems are totally non-heating, delivering excellent sunlight throughout the day. Currently, Israel is a market we operate in, enjoying excellent traction and success in multiple market segments. And we are hoping to be able to replicate this in the European market with your help. We are hoping to raise a further $2 million to take what we're doing very well in Israel and manage to do it in Europe. Thank you very much. Be happy to take any questions if you have them.
Thank you very much, Ofer. I'm sitting in a windowless meeting room with a very bright light. I'd love to have some natural light.
You will realize the need, sure.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Ofer? Okay. Then quickly from my end, can you estimate the market for your technology?
Yeah, we can. We've actually done a bottom-up analysis based on our success in Israel. And as you can see, there is a huge scope for employing natural light. I can add that in Europe, another interesting driving factor is the recently introduced daylight standard, which really is making natural light a must in any new building designed or being built. And we are an excellent remedy. I can say that up till now, I've yet to see a building which adheres to this standard. If you turn off the electricity, it's always too dark, and we can deliver the solution for that type of problem.
Great, thank you. Any other question, maybe? Okay, thank you so much, Ofer. Moving on to our next presenter, Daniel from BeagleButton.
Hi, Stefan. I'm actually struggling to share my screen. So it might be the old backup, if you don't mind.
Okay. Let me bring up the slides.
I've succeeded, in fact. Have we got them? No.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That looks good.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to take you into the world of sustainable shopping. I am Daniel Hemsley, the co-founder and CEO of the BeagleButton. We recommend sustainable alternatives as you shop online. The problem, as we see it, is that the majority of people, 73%, will tell you that they want to make more sustainable choices when shopping, but they don't. And our research suggests that's for three reasons. The first is price, or a perceived higher cost for sustainable alternatives. The second is inconvenience, or a difficulty and struggle to incorporate these changes into their everyday behaviors. And the last is a lack of awareness that these sustainable alternatives exist in the first place. We solve that problem with a recommendation engine powered by machine learning. The BeagleButton is a free-to-use browser extension. Once downloaded, you shop as normal. We will show you genuinely sustainable, vetted recommendations in real time compared to what you're looking at the lowest possible price. Meaning if you were, in this case, on Amazon shopping for disposable face masks, we would show you a plastic-free, reusable alternative made right here in the UK from long-lasting materials. We are free to use, and we generate revenue from affiliate commissions that we charge to our brands on successful transactions. We take discount codes from them, which we pass on to our users to reduce the cost for them, but increase conversion rates at checkout. And this is the same approach as taken by Honey, that were bought by PayPal for $4 billion in 2019. We've raised 490K in pre-seed, and we currently have over 2,000 active users. We've built a mailing list of over 20,000 subscribers, and we have a 5-star rating in the Chrome extension store. We are currently growing 10% month on month, acquiring new users for about £9, and brands come to us and they're paying to get in front of that audience. So we've monetized our branded content and have had a great response in the press so far. We think our technology has huge potential power to disrupt. Our click-through rate currently outperforms best-in-class Google and Facebook ads, with users clicking through on 1 in 10 of the recommendations that we show. The conversion rates outperform best-in-class UK retail averages, meaning that the traffic we send through to our brand partners is twice as likely to convert into a sale, which naturally they like. We have established partnerships with over 200 of the leading UK sustainable retailers to build a database of over 15,000 products. And we give back, planting trees for every new user and for every sale that we make through our tree planting partner ecology. Our founding team combine a background in consulting, creative ad agencies, and digital tech development with experience scaling ethical enterprises, growing creative businesses, and marketplace businesses. We are changing how the world shops. In the last quarter, we showed 10,000 recommendations to our users, showcasing sustainable alternatives that they otherwise wouldn't have seen. We've built a sophisticated recommendation engine and we've proven our tech, so we're ready to scale. We're raising £1 million to bring in a world-class team to fuel our growth. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Daniel. Any questions from the audience?
Yes.
Caroline.
Yes, hello. It costs you £9 to get a customer. What is your average revenue per customer? And then are you going to limit yourself to the UK, or where are you wanting to expand?
Thank you. Great questions, Caroline. So first of all, we're currently looking to improve our unit economics. We've been focused on building a product that people love, and the feedback that we've had is that people love the product. So the LTV is on our radar and something that we are deploying a number of techniques to drive up. Secondly, we are currently in the UK only, but we're looking to expand into new markets, launching in the US next year.
No Europe? I mean, Brexit?
It depends. There are a couple of decisions there about how we choose to scale the technology. But yeah, certainly we're thinking about the US next, but Europe, in a sense, would be multiple small markets, which apparently the US is the same, right? It's 50 small markets combined. So yeah, we'll do the appropriate analysis and decide which one to push into, but currently that's pointing to the US.
Good. I mean, now you're multilingual?
No. Good question. Yeah, the Beagle button only speaks English currently.
Okay.
Thank you, Caroline. Any other question for the Beagle button? Maybe a quick one from my end. Where do you get all the signals from? Because there's a couple of information. Is a product locally sourced and so on? How do you get this information? Is this part of the product like SKU data that you get, or how does it work for you?
Yeah, good question. So we have built that database across that I mentioned of the UK's leading sustainable retailers, and we assess both brands and products. So we've built or we've worked with a third party to build a comprehensive framework that basically says, is a brand as sustainable as they say they are, and then we validate their sustainable credentials before we let them onto the platform. The idea being the other reason why people don't shop sustainably is greenwashing. And what we do is connect you to genuine sustainable alternatives so that you don't need to do the research because we've done it for you. So we show users products that are verified and certified as actually sustainable.
Great. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Okay, switching gears, and I'm happy to welcome Litsa from Food Chain.
Hello, everyone. I will be presenting. I'm Yusuf,
okay.
the co-founder and the COO of Food Chain. Now, Litsa will present. Just 1 second. Yes. Okay, perfect. So when I was a student, I worked as a waiter in various hotels here in Jerusalem and was shocked by the way they disposed of their perfectly fine, untouched buffet food. They literally took the food from the buffet and threw it directly into the garbage. I always felt that it was such a shame. And after doing some research, we found some shocking numbers. So about 1/3 of the world's food is wasted. And out of that, 38% of that comes from food services and retail sector. And 80% of the businesses that we spoke to said they would like to donate their surplus, but struggle due to fear of liabilities, lack of accessibility, and being unaware of legal incentives. On the charity side, we went over the financial reports of hundreds of nonprofits and found that almost 40% of charities are actually buying all the food that they distribute to the people in need. So to address this gap, we created Food Chain, a platform that connects businesses and nonprofits to facilitate and monetize the exchange of surplus food while producing documentation that minimizes liability, qualifies donors for tax credits, and for fluency, we refer to businesses and charities as givers and getters. So how does Food Chain work? Upon sign up, a series of questions will help map the availability and requirements of givers and getters. Users will be able to find each other by location and availability of food. And once pickup is confirmed, donations are evaluated, documented to qualify donors for tax credits. Throughout this process, of course, data will be collected and used to identify trends, improve matching and valuation. Our value proposition includes huge savings for both givers and getters, while the ability to demonstrate solidarity in a transparent way that makes significant social, economical, and environmental impact. So a triple win situation. So our revenue model is basically givers and getters can use the basic version for free, or they can upgrade to a pay-as-you-go model to utilize our monetization and automation features. This will come at a cost of 10% of the donation value. This will save around 90%, up to 90% of the food expenses for charities, and up to 25% of the value of food that would otherwise go to waste for businesses. So during beta testing, we leveraged strategic partnerships here in Jerusalem and in Israel to get around 300 users. In 23, we'll launch our pro version while continuing to expand our user base. In 24, we'll assign ambassadors in international markets, starting in the US, and eventually we'll look to partner and integrate with other management API platforms. So our competitors range from nonprofits who offer large-scale solutions but lack the convenience of local, real-time, small-scale interactions, and for-profits like Too Good To Go and Karma, which sell short expiry goods. These provide only a partial solution to leftovers. This is the team. My partner is Ditsa, who comes from a digital B2B marketing background. I come from a business and finance background, and underneath are some of the organizations that supported us along the way, whether financially or by mentorship. We're currently looking to raise around $300,000 to find some developers to build the platform and for a CTO. We're happy to answer any questions, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Youssef, and also Ditsa for presenting. Any questions for Food Chain?
One by one, guys. Okay.
Caroline, you raised your hand. Do you have a question?
Yes, I did. Which country are you working in? Here in Switzerland, we have organizations that do it for free. So physically, I mean, they have arrangements with the big distribution chains and do that for free. So it's really a country by country approach that you will have to do. Huh?
Yes, we're based in Israel right now, and we're thinking of expanding to the US initially. Now, it is our platform is basically for free. It's a freemium model, so only when they want to use the automation and monetization features, they will actually pay. But the reason is that we're utilizing the taxation system within the country to help incentivize, businesses to donate food. So we will essentially automate the entire documentation process for businesses to receive tax returns for any donation that they donate.
In countries where donations are
are valued like exactly tax deductible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, have a great day. Thank you.
Any other question for Food Chain? And a quick one from my end. How do you work with supply and demand? Because like some of those apps basically struggling look up. There's just like an oversupply, but on the other side, it's tricky then to find a balance here. Do you start like with like focusing first of all, I don't know, local ecosystem, let's say Jerusalem, and try to figure it out that you have enough volume, or how do you deal with that setup?
Yeah, initially, yes, we'll focus locally on places that are closer to each other. Time is of the essence in such situations. And we'll initially, through our matching process, we'll filter through which best places are suited to donate each other. And based on that, we'll move forwards. After that, we'll partner with logistics providers to help, integrate everything together in a much more efficient way. But this is our initial steps for now.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Moving on to Jules from TreeApp. I can see you smile.
Yep. Let me just share my screen. Let me know if it's all good.
Coming up. Looks good.
Amazing. Cool. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Jules, co-founder at TreeApp, and today I'm going to tell you a bit more about what we do. So TreeApp is a mobile app which enables anyone to plant trees for free while discovering sustainable brands. Our vision is to enable anyone to have an impact every day, and we're starting with trees. So how does it work? Well, the user gets on the app and will see a map of the world with different reforestation projects. In order to plant a tree in one of these locations, the user will watch an ad, which will last 30 seconds. On the back of completing that ad, a tree will be planted on behalf of that user. The user can then go on to track their impact and how much of their footprint they've offsetted by using the app, as well as shopping for the products they've just discovered, all through our app. Since our launch 2 years ago, we've gathered over 100,000 users here in the UK, with 80% of these being acquired organically. Now, what's interesting is that as we grew the app and received, welcome tens of thousands of users, we've noticed that more and more businesses were actually reaching out to us to work on a much more B2B basis to set up tree planting sites or to integrate tree planting into their offering, as well as to offset their footprint. So we've done exactly just that. And we're now working on a B2B basis with brands to integrate tree planting into their offering, set up tree planting sites, as well as calculate and offset their footprint via the purchase of carbon credits, either VCS or Gold Standard certified. We've worked with over 300 brands to date, including the likes of Credit Suisse, The Economist, or L'Occitane. To give you a bit more background, for example, with DPD, we're working with them to plant trees on a monthly basis, and basically they'll be planting a tree every time they do a certain amount of electric vehicle deliveries. So this creates great, obviously, MRR for us, and we're working with a lot of these brands on a monthly recurring basis like this. We've worked with the likes of Minor Figures or Balfour BT, for example, to offset their carbon footprint, and HelloFresh or L'Occitane are among a lot of brands that have advertised on our app. We've raised a small round of funding in Q1 last year, and with that, we hired a team of 10 people full-time, managed to get over 20,000 pounds of monthly recurring revenue, and have generated over 500,000 pounds since our launch. We've also planted 1 million trees, which is equivalent to over 1 tree every minute. Our team is strong and ambitious, and we've surrounded ourselves with top advisors, as well as being part of great hubs, like being a B Corp, part of the Google SDGs, and recently being recognized by Forbes 30 out of 30. We're raising 2 million pounds to become the leading impact platform. We'll be using this money to launch internationally, grow our B2B partnerships and offering, as well as our impact, and hire more people within our tech and product team. We have over 600K already committed for this round, and we'd love to speak with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jules. Impressive growth numbers. Any questions from the audience?
Hi, Jules. It's Peter here. My question would be like, Is your carbon offsetting product, is it certified by somebody?
Yes, so as I mentioned, we're only working with the highest levels of standards. So we're working with gold standard and VCS for all the certifications that we're doing.
Great, thanks.
Any other question for Jude?
Hi, Jules. This is Florence here. So I'm based here in the UK. My question here is about how you kind of select, what's the criteria of selecting the planting sites, and how do you make sure and track the planting afterwards? Yeah, so.
Great question. So when we started Tree App, we knew that our expertise didn't lie in tree planting as founders. So what we've done is we've surrounded ourselves with experts in tropical forestry. So we have a board of experts in tropical forestry that have created an extensive list of criteria that we follow to select each of our planting sites. We're looking at the different methodologies of planting the trees. We're looking at obviously how they're monitoring the growth of the trees, as well as the different species that they're planting, making sure that we have at least 5 endemic species being planted per project. Happy to share more information as well via email.
Thank you.
Any other question for Jules?
Yeah, sorry. Hi, here Paula. Hi, Jules.
Hi.
In terms of internationalization, what are your next markets?
So the next market that we're going to be launching into is France, and we're planning to launch there later this year in Q4. The reason why we're thinking of France is because in Europe it's the biggest market along with Germany for sustainability, and we also have a lot of assets in the team already that we could leverage. So 2 of the 3 co-founders are French. So obviously we have already an extensive network here that we could use to launch the app as well as build brand partnerships.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks very much, Jules.
Thank you, guys. And please make sure to download the app.
Okay. Moving on into another area, Neorai.
Hello, everyone. Oh, hello, everyone. I am very happy to be here. I'll share. Now you can see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, good. Okay, let me, so you can see it as well.
Yeah, the presentation is up.
Good. Great. So, hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Neorai. I'm the CEO and co-founder at SkillsUp. In the last 10 years, I worked as a policy advisor to parliament members, ministers, especially in future of work before it became a buzzword during COVID. That's also what I did in my PhD. And my goal and my team's goal at SkillsUp is to help millions of people cope with the changes in the world of work and have a better future. We are changing how the world see career growth. If you look at the existing solutions, you will find them very manual, old, expensive. They are separated into 3 different sectors. You have the career counseling, you have the career training, you have the career placement. What we actually do at SkillsUp is centralize them all to one experience that helps individuals to move from where they are currently in their career to their next career goal in the new world of work, in the digital economy. We do it by using automation and coaching. If you look at our numbers, you see that we are existing 1 year, and in just 1 year, we have more than 700 paying customers. Most of them are coming from referrals. We did all of it based on 600K that we raised in the last October. And we are raising right now $3 million in order to make our platform more scalable, more automated. So we are investing this money in our R&D team. But what are we actually doing? So first of all, we want to create an affordable way for individuals to move their career and to enter into the new world of work. So we created an affordable business model, $29 a month, but it's also an amount that people feel that they invested in their career. They are committed to the process. We also working with organizations that serve people from various backgrounds, like women, underserved communities, first generation graduates. And we actually have the same goal, the common goal with these organizations that help their graduates to have a better future. So how does it work? Individuals are coming to our platform, and we create for each individual a personal journey that provides them with all the training, the skills, and the support they need in order to break into the new world of work. We are reverse engineer this journey based on data that we collect from the market by scripting and sending smart questionnaires. And we have the information that comes from the training companies that will help these individuals to bridge their soft skills gaps and the hard skills gaps. And we saw that by this way, we are helping people to find a better job in half the time. We design an experiment to see the impact we do, and we find that people who use Skills Up, finding a job in 12 weeks on average compared to 24 weeks in the control group, having a placement rate of 85% and 40% more satisfaction with the placement they got by the end of the journey. But what is the real impact here? We are talking about SDGs. So you look that 61% of our graduates are women. 89% of them increased their salary significantly. 90% did an upskilling or reskilling to stay or be relevant for the future of work, for the new world of work. And 100% of them today have a sustainable careers that helps their families and themselves. If you look at our team, this team is based in Tel Aviv in the US. This is our current markets. This team is going to change the lives of millions of people in the next few years. Right now, we have dozens of thousands in our pipeline that's ready to get our services and change their life. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have. You're welcome to join our journey and help millions of people have a better life. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Neora. Any questions from the audience for Skills Up?
So,
yes, Caroline.
Hello. Are you multilingual? I saw that you have some Hebrew. So basically, you're already multilingual. And the training, is it video based, or is it just Q&A and reading things?
So so first of all, we are multilingual. We'll create this platform. Right now, it's in Hebrew and English, soon to be in Arabic, French, German, etc. We created something very scalable, so it's very easy to us to make it multilingual. And the training is a micro learning that really fit this generation, the Gen Y, Gen Z, that looking for specific training and content just to get the value and keep and move forward. So we created something very beautiful and engageable that helped them also to manage the process, not just reading and see things. They know exactly what they should do every day in order to reach their goal and to get the value of the process of the job search.
But what is it? I get a task and I have to do it, or it's just okay? So it's not online. It's not live.
It's an application that you go every day. You know exactly what you should do in order to move the needle, to feel that you are better. It's a value-oriented process that we created, so people are staying confident and motivated every day to finish the process, which is hard process. We know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Nohara. So I'm Florence. I have a quick question about the business model. So nice to meet you. So what is your revenue model like? I mean, do you kind of the revenue stream coming from subscription from the students, or you have the partnership with the employer, so you get the commissions? So have you thought about the revenue stream for your business?
So the revenue stream is based on we have three streams. We have the direct to consumer. Individuals are paying $29 a month. Sometimes we do for some communities discounts. So they're paying, and as I said, they have skin in the game. They feel that they're committed. We tried to do it for free, but we saw that there is less motivation. Another channel is through organization, universities. We're working with the university in Israel, universities in the US, top names like Washington universities, NYU, etc. Also boot camps and organizations that serve different communities. They pay for the process for their customers, and they cover it. That's how we can make it at scale and very quickly to grow and help people that even cannot pay this amount, but they feel that they get the best value. And we saw that they are completing the process very well. We also have a placement business model that I didn't mention, but it's something that we're working on. We are building it step by step because we want to grow our community first, and then could afford a placement rate on a placement fees on every graduate.
Fantastic. I actually have another question. So I just asked about revenue part. How about the cost part? So like in terms of the cost when you are creating the training materials and etc., what's the model of recruiting the teachers? And like it's more like a demand and supply, and then you need to match the people who has the skill requirements and upskilling requirements with the people who have the skill sets. Yeah. So how do you control your teaching or mentoring group?
Very, very good question. So we build the team as that. The team is very technological, and we have someone who is like head of career growth and career coaching, and we are bringing on demand coaches with experience just for the different communities. We have I don't know if you know Noom, but we're using this kind of model of on every 400 customers we have one coach that committed to them. So we're not having them on the payroll, just on demand, and they cost us $60 per hour. And of course, it's worth it. It makes sense there.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So hi, I'm Ricardo from Switzerland as well. I have a question for you. What do you think are the main competitors? Because you feel probably a gap in an intersection between online universities, online courses, and so on. So at a certain point, if you ask a university to provide you content for your platform, you might already step on their toes, so to say.
Yes, so it's very good questions. So basically, the competitors we see are in different areas that I mentioned. SkillsUp creates one journey that do the career counseling, career coaching, training, and the placement services, all the employability part. So there's competitors that do some of it. For example, in the coaching area, you have BetterUp, unicorn that raised over $500 million just this year. So we see them, but we are automated. We see it as an automated. We're not just coaching. We can make it scalable and make the coaching affordable, which is very important. That we know that coaching makes a lot more differences in inequality. And you have in the universities see us as it's an opportunity to make a scale career services at scale. That's why they approach us. They came to us and said, "Listen, I'm a one person in a university that have thousands of students, and I cannot afford them a lifelong career guidance as they promised." So they came to SkillsUp. We're creating a white label for their university, and we are having all the graduates and the student in our platform. And it's a great solution that they have. There's nothing like that in the world right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Nere. 61% women, that's definitely a number that sticks for me. That's quite impressive. Okay, moving on.
Thanks so much.
Horizon, Vikesh.
Sure, just bear with me a second. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, but it's coming up.
Okay. Just let me know when.
Looks good.
Okay, so I'm Vic. I'm one of the co-founders of Horizon, and I'm looking to talk to you about Scope 3 emissions. Scope 3 represents the biggest challenge for brands to fight climate change. Around 70% of a company's emissions will typically be Scope 3. And very few companies are fully reporting on their Scope 3 emissions. And that's because it's really hard. But this is about to change. Lots of regulation is coming into force that is forcing companies to have more reporting on their products and also the packaging that they place onto the environment. And this is creating a very attractive market for companies that are providing solutions in this space. But it's very hard because at the moment, brands have no idea what happens to their products after it leaves the shelf. And unless you know how far a product has traveled, where and how it's been disposed of, and what waste stream it enters into, it's very difficult to give an accurate figure for the true impact of that product. And so that's what we provide as a solution. Horizon is a consumer app that helps people learn about products and how to dispose of them correctly, whether that's recycling, reusing, or composting in some situations. We have about 19,000 users in the UK, and their usage of our app generates data that is valuable to our customers, and it helps them calculate and measure and also reduce their Scope 3 emissions, especially from packaging. And this data is valuable to a number of customer segments, from local authorities to waste management companies and brands looking to reduce their impact. And by changing behavior using our app, we can actually help some certain companies increase their revenue. For example, one of our customers, just a 2% reduction in their waste, we can save them up to £250,000 per year. And so we have a dual revenue model where we have a B2B app, which we help customers reduce the impact of their packaging, but we're also launching a B2C subscription later on next year. But what's really exciting about this is the carbon opportunity. Simple actions such as recycling, reusing, composting, and avoiding food waste can save millions of tons of CO2 each year. And our goal is to avoid about 10 million tons of waste per year within the next 5 years. Now, this sounds ambitious, but we have the team to do it. My co-founder and I have been building and scaling apps for over 20 years. Our apps have topped the charts in multiple countries worldwide, and they've been featured by Apple and served millions of users. We've both quit our jobs to focus full-time on climate change, and we've launched Horizon last year. And it seems to be working. We've just confirmed our first major B2B trial in an area in London with over 360,000 residents. We've had about 19,000 users download the app, and they've tracked over 40,000 different products. It's doing really well on social media too. We've had about 4 million organic views online, and this is without raising any funding or spending any money on marketing. So what we're looking to do this year is raise our pre-seed funding, and in order to deliver our first major B2B trial and launch our B2C subscription. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of taste of what we're doing, and we'd love to speak to investors that share the vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vic. Any question from the audience? Caroline.
Yes, I'm sorry, but I didn't really understand. I'm
Sure.
maybe a bit stupid, but what happened? So why would I, buy your thing? I'm already sorting all my stuff, so tell me, help me.
Yeah, sure. I guess I should have spent some time on explaining the product in the presentation. But in different, depending on where you live, recycling can be very confusing. Especially in the UK, only 9% of people actually really trust recycling levels, and the recycling rate is actually about 52%. And so as a consumer, we help people find which bins to put the correct items in, but also return things back to store, help them with composting, help clear up confusion around food waste. And these individual actions can actually help add up to a significant impact. But for the business side of things, actual having data of what happens to the products in the end of life can help businesses calculate much more accurate Scope 3 emissions for those products. So it's a dual model for consumers and businesses. But in the long term for consumers, we're really looking to build a wide range of information on sustainability for certain products. So packaging is the current focus, but we'll be adding features around food waste, palm oil, vegan ingredients, lots of other things to keep you interested in the products, really.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any more questions for Vic? Maybe a last quick one from my end on the user perspective. Oh,
Mhm.
Paula.
No, please go ahead, and I ask after you.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you. Sorry, perhaps I missed in your presentation, but from a B2B perspective, what would be the business model?
So we charge our customers a yearly fee to access our platform, and so we provide them with real data on the usage of their products and to help them calculate Scope 3. But also they can engage with users via our app to, say, for example, incentivize them to recycle their products. A lot of producers of products that come in plastic film, we can help reward them for recycling the plastic film, reusing certain containers, etc. So we charge businesses to basically improve the sustainability of their packaging.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem.
Great. Thank you very much, Vic.
Thank you.
And moving on to Yala Irada, Adnan.
Hello, everybody. You hear me?
Yes.
Great. And do you see my screen?
It's coming up.
It's coming up. You see it?
Yes.
Amazing. So hello and good evening. My name is Adnan and I'm from Jerusalem and my phone is ringing telling me to start pitching. Yes. Yalla Riyada. Riyada means sport in Arabic. And we are an online personal training software. Trainers today are training people online by sending them texts and PDFs on WhatsApp. And if you are a trainer and you're training more than 3 or 4 people on WhatsApp, that becomes messy and unorganized, and that's untrackable. The trainer doesn't know if the trainee did his exercise today or not. And there's no video reference to send them to explain to them how the exercises are done. The solution we're providing is a client management software for the personal trainers that helps them build training programs, and it looks like that. We provide them with a library that has more than 1,000 exercises, and they can just drag the exercises and put it for their clients. With a client progress tracking, so if the client didn't exercise for a couple of days, the trainer will be notified to follow up on him. And an in-app chat for organizing things. This is how it looks on the client side. This is like the training schedule for a month, and this is for the day, what the exercise you have to do, and you start exercising. How do we make money? Trainers pay us $5 a month for every client the trainer invites to the app. And we give them the first client for free to test our software. And we also get money from trainers by building them landing pages and giving them branding services. And in the future, we're gonna have money from commissions in the marketplace for personal trainers. You see all these? All these are softwares and apps for online personal training. And they are all in English. They are in Europe, in America, and Biwi is like in Colombia. And they all, like you said, like you see, succeeded and raised good money or have been acquired. And yet, there's not a single Arabic platform for personal training. While there are 1 million personal trainers in the Arab world. And according to Statista, 96% of consumers in Saudi Arabia prefer Arabic language, and 82% in Egypt prefer Arabic language. Today, we are in beta testing our product, and we're working with 10 trainers and 50 clients that they are training. And we're looking forward to raise $1 million. We have raised in the past $200,000 in pre-seed. We're looking forward to raise $1 million to expand our tech and marketing. And this is our founding team. Muhammad Masah, the CEO, he's with us on the call, and he has a degree in law from the Hebrew University, specialized in startups law, and he's a fitness personal trainer. I have 6 years in experience in websites and apps. I'm also a sports addict. And our third co-founder, Rajai, expert in marketing. And he's also a personal trainer. That's our investor. We're a team of 6 people right now. We have great mentorship by Google for Startups and Samsung, Boaz Zilberman, and Arab Angels Venture Capital. Our core purpose of this whole product, why we're doing everything we're doing. we want to give people the motivation to do sports. And we found that the best way to motivate people to do sports is to connect them with personal trainers. Physical personal trainers are expensive, but online personal trainers are more affordable and accessible. And we're trying to make that better, online personal training, and help trainers become entrepreneurs and grow their impact. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward for your questions.
Thank you so much, Adnan. Any questions for Yalla? Maybe a quick one then from my end. Do you help trainers to find clients?
Yes. So we create for them landing pages where they present their services. We help them do that. Many of them, they don't know how to do that. And the second thing that we help them with is that marketplace. And we promote that marketplace for other clients to find them.
Okay. Any question from anyone else?
It's a platform in Arabic. I know most of you don't speak Arabic, but has great potential. And our true aspiration is to succeed in the Arabic world and expand all over. Different languages.
Thank you very much. I mean, Arabic, you already have a huge audience in this world. No doubt that alone could already make a big difference. Okay.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
With pleasure.
Moving on to Samson from Open Energy Labs.
Alrighty. I think I might be having some slide issues. Let's have a quick look. All right, I think we may have to go with the backup here because it's not letting me share my screen.
Just give me a couple of minutes.
Sure.
To go to the right.
No problem.
But, just one sec.
What an amazing spread of entrepreneurs we've had so far. So, yeah, we'll see if we can follow up on what's gone so far. But yeah.
Just the next slide when you want me to move on.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Samson. I'm the co-founder of Open Energy Labs. And what we're trying to do is empower people in Africa to build renewable energy supplies. So yeah, if you can go to the next slide. So what we're trying to build is universal access to electricity across the continent. But what we're doing differently is we're putting education at the core of that, and with a particular focus on hands-on learning. We're looking to train about 110,000 students across the continent in the next 5 years. And we've been working very closely with governments to maximize that impact. We've got an amazing team with backgrounds in teaching, design, and engineering. Next slide. So what's the problem that we're trying to solve? So in sub-Saharan Africa, only 29% of people in rural areas have access to electricity. In some countries, that's dropped down to 11%. And not having access to electricity has a wide range of issues, which means that students can't be doing their homework after dark. Services like mobile phone services are very difficult to access. And so this has actually become an SDG, SDG 7, with a target of 100% electrification by 2030. Now, one of the big barriers to being able to achieve this is a lack of capacity amongst young people to actually develop these systems. And graduates coming out of schools and universities don't have the skills that are needed by the solar home system market. Now, one of the big problems there is that schools and universities don't have the resources and facilities, which means that those students are missing out on the skills, and the market doesn't have the skills that it needs to grow. And you can take the next slide. So in order to solve this problem, we've developed Energy Makers Academy, which is a mobile learning platform with integrated hardware, which teaches students about electronics, programming, and renewable energy system design. You can do the next slide. So this is what the product looks like. On the right-hand side, you can see there are hardware platform. So this is actually a fully functioning solar energy system. All you need to do is hook up a solar panel and a battery, and it will then turn that into USB power. We provide this as a kit, so students actually go through this program, they build this for themselves, and all of the learning content is delivered through the app, which you can see on the left. This means that we can drop this anywhere in the world and we can power education from anywhere. Next slide. So far, we've trained 150 students and we have a 5-star rating on Facebook. So students absolutely love our program. It's been life-changing for many of them. And we sell this to technical colleges and universities who actually deliver the program, and we charge $99 per student. Now you can do the next slide. So as I mentioned, we've been working closely with a variety of government partners in Zambia. We've been working closely with the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Higher Education. Our product development was funded by Innovate UK, and we've obviously had some fantastic support from the likes of Google and Virgin, as well as some of the leading lights, such as Energy for Impact in the expanding energy access space. Next slide. Cool. So that's a little bit about us. You can get in touch with me via my email or drop me a message on WhatsApp. Yeah, we'd love to hear any questions that anyone has.
Thank you very much, Samson. Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, I'm very interested. Anything in French? And do you have any contact with Guinea-Conakry? And also, do you also provide the solar panel and everything else with the 99, or what do they do next? When they know how to do that, what's their next step?
Fantastic. So we don't have anything in French yet. However, we are applying for funding from Innovate UK to do a large-scale pilot, and part of that would be internationalizing the content. So we're looking at French as well as Portuguese in sub-Saharan Africa, as well as a couple of local languages, more likely in Swahili, and then some Nigerian languages as well. So no contacts yet in Guinea. Would of course love any contacts that you might have there. In terms of the solar panel, so what we provide is, depending on the students and the school's needs, we can provide toolkits alongside this. That's a kind of additional extra. Solar panels we have provided, and we can continue to do that. What we've actually found is that solar panels are actually quite widely available in country, and for the cost that we're able to provide the solar panels, it's normally worth it to buy in country, and even more so when it comes to batteries, just because importing and exporting batteries is an absolute nightmare. So we usually leave that to the technical college and the universities to acquire those locally. But again, we can kind of support with that to assess quality and suitability for the board.
Good. Let's keep in touch.
Definitely.
Any other question for Samson?
Hi, Samson, I have a question. Ricardo here from Switzerland. So it is clear that you are placed in an area of energy that is also a need in that country. But what is expected from the people that graduate from this course? Are they actively able to solve practical problems, and will they get a sort of a degree connected? And are there other areas of problems related to these countries that you would like to address with the same system and approach?
Sure, that's a really good question. So taking your last point first around other things. So what we're teaching are actually quite broad range of skills. So this is the board here, and so we've got a variety of different components. And what we do as we go through the program is actually teach students about those programs, about those components. And so what they learn is actually applicable to a broad range of different skills. So for example, one group of students that we worked with in a rural area expanded the board to attach a sensor that was monitoring motion. And they used that to detect when elephants and hippos were coming into the field to eat their crops. And they were then using the programming skills that they gained to actually use that to scare away those elephants by turning on a radio and turning on lights. So there's a real kind of broad range of skills. In terms of what they can do afterwards, The board that we've created is actually based on a wide range of different solar energy systems that you can buy in the market. So what we do is that when we go into a new market, we actually open up an existing solar charge controller and make it clear. So you've learned about this bit in our board, it is this bit in those charge controllers. Because one of the big problems is maintenance. A lot of these solar solar energy systems are made cheaply, they break after a month and no one knows how to fix them. So we're also reducing kind of solar e-waste, which is, a really fast growing e-waste stream. And so by linking it to those existing solutions, they're actually able to solve that. And again, with one of our pilots, we saw something around 65% of students actually use their skills to fix other things in the home. So fixing their kettles, fixing their televisions, using the skills that they've learned as part of the program.
Thanks a lot. Very nice. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much, Samson.
Thank you.
Moving on to Yoav from Newton Tech.
Great, thank you. Can you just confirm if you can hear and see my screen?
It's coming up. Looks good.
Okay, great. Thank you. So there are actually few situations that can make us feel as helpless as drowning does. And one of those is physical therapy and rehabilitation after something like a stroke. Now, I've seen this face many times, and I've also seen it turn to sheer joy and relief as I've arrived on the scene to provide help. I want to create a future where rehabilitation patients and clinicians can go from feeling helpless and desperate to empowered and hopeful. Non-communicable diseases have an incredibly high burden both on healthcare and on the global economy. We're looking at SDG 3 and particularly 3.4 is non-communicable diseases. So they're the leading cause of death and disability globally. In physical therapy, the reason is because we have very poor and antiquated assessment tools like tape measure and a stopwatch, and antiquated treatment tools as well. And this leads us to very poor outcomes. Just in stroke rehab, this is a $150 billion problem. The inspiration for all of this came from my work in pre-hospital emergency medicine, combined with work in the space industry at the European Space Agency, and really a passion for just helping people. And that's what led to our product, Mobi, which you can see the prototype on the right. We've taken the best neuroscience, we've paired it with AI and robotics and brought it to the bedside where it creates the most important impact with our patients. So it's a very powerful assessment tool and a powerful treatment tool that empowers clinicians to get better outcomes. So far in our stroke clinical trial, we're seeing that all of our patients and all clinicians are very, very pleased with the use of Mobi. Oh, sorry, that just jumped ahead. So far, we've created $10 million in healthcare cost savings, and our 5-year impact goal is closer to $60 billion based on over 800,000 disability-adjusted life years saved. Our patients and clinicians are incredibly impressed. They find it empowering and gives them confidence and enabling. But Mobi isn't just great impact, it's also great business. So in hospital, we've got a capital equipment model with annual recurring revenues, and in clinics, it's a pay-per-use model, so an endless tail, essentially. We're forecasting 160 million in revenues 5 years out, most of which are recurring. These are the first KOLs and important customers in the US, which is about a $2 billion market, down from the global 36. And scaling is through regional distributors, and these are the ones that we're targeting initially. Our team is incredibly diverse, committed, and resilient, and has already demonstrated that we can create products that the market loves. And from there, just to give you a taste of where we're headed in the future, in order to provide the smart therapy, we've been able to sequence human movement. So this is my walking. And this obviously has a lot of other applications I won't get into right now. We're doing this to provide better and longer lives, to provide the greatest recovery experience. And we really believe that other branches of medicine, like surgery, have gotten their revolution, and now it's rehab's turn. So we'd love to have you join us in leading this rehab revolution. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to take any questions if there are any.
Thank you very much, Yuval. Any questions from the audience for Newton Tech? Quite impressive how you try to tackle that important problem.
Thank you.
Maybe a quick one then from my end. It's focused for you stroke patients, or is it addressing a couple of different areas?
Yeah, great question. So we've started in stroke because it makes sense. You have to start a clinical trial in one indication, but it's actually for any physical therapy, for any physical rehabilitation. And we see that as we show it to clinicians, they know that. We don't need to explain that to them. They say, oh, I can use it on my cardio patients and my orthopedic patients and any other rehab patients. So the market is much, much broader. And our next trial that's starting very shortly is actually on all of those indications. It's all of rehab patients. So you're right, it's much broader.
Any more questions from the audience? Great. Thank you very much, Yuval.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Moving on to Matt from Lita.
Hello, let me just share this. Okay, awesome. Hello, everyone. My name's Matt Pollen. I'm one of the co-founders of Lita, and we are turning mobile gamers into citizen scientists. We're doing this because we know a lot of people want to reduce their personal impact on the environment. However, we also know that people are unlikely to embrace change if they think that change is difficult. So how do we make change as easy as possible? And the problem we're initially looking to tackle is litter. Litter has huge social implications, massive environmental consequences, and it comes with a huge economic cost, as you can see below there as well. So we've come up with a new way to tackle litter. Firstly, through gamification, secondly, through digital collectibles and a play-to-save game, and thirdly, through taking a data-led approach to tackling litter. And that's all encapsulated through our mobile game, Litter Hunters. So the gamification, that's about making it as fun and as easy as possible to engage in sustainable behavior. Players have what we call a litter bug, a little creature, very Tamagotchi-esque, that they have to feed and keep alive. And the way they do this is by helping us to map litter. Players take a photo of a piece of litter. That's then verified by other players within the game. And then once it's verified, they get rewarded with in-game currency that can be used to collect different assets and advance their litter bug. And then they can also enter real-world competitions to win real-world prizes. We then use the data collected by our players to work with local and national governments on different planning issues, on route optimization for street cleaning teams, and then on hotspot mapping. So we overlay litter hotspots with existing waste management infrastructure to identify inefficiencies in the placement and typology of that infrastructure. Why are we doing this now? Well, gaming is the #1 leisure time activity for our target audience of Gen Z. They spend around a quarter of all of their leisure time playing games. So coming back to trying to make that change as easy as possible, we've come up with a solution that can be integrated into a lot of people's daily lives through mobile gaming. And the size of the market, well, around £20 billion is spent on litter abatement activities worldwide every year. This is just the direct cost of litter. The blockchain gaming industry is expected to reach about $40 billion by 2025. And the global community of gamers is probably one of the biggest out there. It's estimated about 2.7 billion people as part of that gaming community. And our business model is based around 3 different strands. It's firstly through the digital collectibles that the players own. Secondly, through brand partnerships. So imagine, if you will, a Strava, but for litter. We run different sustainability quests through the game that are sponsored by different brands. And then thirdly, through the data collection. So there's a number of really interesting regulations coming into the UK specifically that will make the data that we collect extremely valuable. Some of our traction so far, we've been backed by the Alliance to End Plastic Waste towards the end of last year through their accelerator program. And we've also won a grant through Innovate UK and the Creative Industries Fund. We're currently raising our pre-seed round of £500,000. This is to help with recruitment, to launch version 1 of the game. We're currently in beta at the moment, and then to build out the partnerships side of things. The team is myself. I'm from a marketing and advertising background. We've then got Ian and Misha, who have set up their own gaming studio and lots of experience in the gaming industry, and then Miguel, who's our CTO. And really looking towards the future, our kind of ambition is the gamification of things. We believe that any information that can be crowdsourced, any data that can be crowdsourced, can also be gamified. And we're building an infrastructure that will allow us to gamify any type of crowdsourced data and help us achieve the 3 SDGs at the bottom there. So that's a quick overview of Litter, and I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Any questions from the audience? Maybe then a quick one from my end. Like, games tend to have a short life cycle and can have quite high development costs. Do you do the development of the games on your own? Do you have several games trying to address the same issue?
Yeah, the development is all done in-house ourselves through Ian and the team that we have, and kind of building on that future point. Rather than kind of building different games to tackle different issues, we're trying to, I suppose, build an infrastructure that will allow one game to tackle kind of any issue that relies on crowdsourced data, and rewarding, I suppose, our citizen scientists for helping us collect that data. And that can be on a whole range of different things, not just litter, but litter is, I suppose, the problem we've looking to address in the first instance.
I have one question, Matt. So since in the end the cost of littering is paid by, I don't know, the countries that need to invest in infrastructure of cleaning, is there a revenue stream coming from there based on the amount of local work, let's say social work, are people doing? Say, okay, guys, with the game we managed to reduce or to clean so much, and this is less work for you. Are you paying, or are you having these kind of conversations?
Yeah, so that's kind of, looking at the efficiency improvements that we could help address in terms of, the route optimization for street cleaning teams is one. In the UK, that it's not a data-led approach to tackling street cleaning. It's a kind of random approach. So we'd be looking to work with the companies that carry out that street cleaning, which is generally third-party waste management companies, and helping to them operate more efficiently. But I suppose we see a kind of a lot of our main revenue source, especially in the first instance, more through the brand partnership side of things, and working with them, especially with, as I mentioned, regulations coming into the UK. Brands and producers of plastic and other packaging will be responsible for the cleanup of that packaging in the near future. So we're hoping to have the data that will help them comply with those regulations, or help the people who are kind of monitoring and implementing those regulations to hold those brands to account.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Cheers. Thank you.
Coming to our last startup of the day, Carbon Space. Oleg, I can see you with your smart.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a pleasure to be closing the show today. Can you see my screen?
Coming up, and looks good.
Perfect. So yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Carbon Space. We are an Irish-based company with a subsidiary in the USA, and we are on the mission to provide much better carbon footprint transparency globally in the land sector. And the major challenge that we are addressing is that right now the monitoring tools in the industry are very manual and slow and expensive. And the carbon data calculations depends on the proxies and assumed emission factors. So that's why the accuracy and reliability of the carbon data is quite limited. And we are providing much more precise, scalable, and cost-effective tool to do this carbon footprint monitoring to help players reduce the cost of the monitoring and spend more money on the actual climate actions. And why we can do that is because of our unique technology stack. We're combining two approaches. With the top-down approach, we are providing the high-scale data, like helping companies and helping countries and regions to quantify their footprints. And we are combining it with the bottom-up approach, where we zoom into the local scale. And that's how we can provide reliable data for any scale of the project. And just to give you a couple of examples, so this is the results from the top-down approach when we show the data for Denmark and how the country improves on its carbon footprint from 2016 to 2019. And this is the data from the bottom-up approach, where we show how we can reliably track any areas above 1 hectare. And from the business standpoint, we are starting from serving corporates in the food and forestry domains. So among our customers, we can mention one of the largest beverage company in the world, the top 10 pork producer in the USA, and one of the largest bank focused on carbon financing. And our vision is to become the trusted data provider for the land sector, for the corporates, and for carbon offset projects, as well as serve as the backbone for the growing carbon financial ecosystem. So far, we have raised 1 million rounds from leading agtech VCs in Europe. Our technology is validated by European Space Agency, NASA, and a bunch of peer-reviewed publications. We have secured over 200K ARR from customers in 20 different countries, and we are targeting to reach 1 million ARR by the end of this year. We have a team that includes a number of serial entrepreneurs and space scientists, backed by a very diverse advisory board. And we are currently raising 3.5 million euro to boost our commercial expansion and to secure very strategic competitive advantages. We are closing soon, but we still have like around 1 million open in this round. So happy to give you more details and answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oleg. Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, maybe for me, it's Peter. I see that you are focusing on, I mean, you are working with a lot of segments in terms of clients. Like, who is your ideal client, or who would be your major focus in the future?
Right now, our target customer is the large food producer that has large supply chain. So we're talking about ideally millions of hectares. And this food corporate is focused on implementing regenerative practices across their supply chain. So this would be our ideal customer. And I would say if this customer is in livestock space, it's additional benefit because we can provide very unique methane data and track methane livestock emissions. And as we move forward, we're thinking about a broader number of players, basically everyone who is implementing or financing climate actions that improve land sequestration. So this is our target customers.
Thank you. Thanks.
Any other question for Oleg? Okay. Then thank you very much, Oleg. Thank you very much to all of the startups you presented today, incredible products and solutions. It's just mind-blowing. I hope you all have like great follow-up conversations. Thank you so much for all the investors who joined today and for everyone who like contributed with questions. It's been great to see how much innovation happens and how much traction also a lot of you already have. So from my point of view, a huge thank you. And I'm very much looking forward to continue to work with you. And if there are any questions from the investor side about the program, as said, feel free to reach out to me. I'll share with you all the contact details directly after this call, so you can connect with all the presenters from today. And yeah, thanks a lot and goodbye, everyone. Have a great evening.
Bye. Thank you for organizing.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.